I'm sharing my screen. My screen is visible to everyone. Can someone confirm if you guys are able to see my screen? Please mute Anurag. आप mute कर लो. You guys are able to see my screen. Can someone confirm, please? Hello, hello. Am I audible or not?
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay. So you guys are able to see screen as well, right? Okay. So let's start, right? So okay. So I can see people are new also here. So guys, we are officially still basically module is not started. We are just doing the fundamental in terms of the how we can do some basic understanding of the dashboard of the firewall. And today class, we are going to do the pending part, which we try to understand in terms of the policy, in terms of the administrations and everything. So let me just log into the firewall first. Okay. And then we'll try to go step by step. So admin. Let me see if I set some other password. Yeah. So I change the password. So this PC, okay, so 194. So let me go into my browser and I'll just type 194 here. So now we are good. All right. So you guys can see here. Let me do a little bit just do the adjustment into the screen. So this is the dashboard, which we have done the discussion about the dashboard, the status, security, network, user and devices. We done discussion about the 40 view, source, destination, application. So it's just an overview about the dashboard. We have done the discussion. So now what we have to understand, we have to understand more about the key concept of the FortiGate firewall, about how the policy framework is going to look like, how the security policy is going to be defined, what is the policy and object is there. These are the actual firewall things. And most important, without routing, without routing, without network connectivity, none of these things are going to work. So if you want to achieve your firewall things, the network is most important. In this network, you have to do the basic routing connectivity, right? You must have to do routing. Also, we have to do switching. So if there is no routing, there is no switching, you cannot create the policy. You cannot apply the security profile, right, inside the policy to protect any kind of the malicious content. Even you cannot create the VPNs, might be the client to site VPN or site to site VPN. Any other authentication user, none of the things is going to work. So the most important, we have to understand about the network. So let me go and explain about the network tabs. What is available in the network tabs? If you just click on the network tabs, you have the lot of information available in the network tabs. So in this information, you can see you have the interface, you have the DNS, you have the packet capture, firewall, but this firewall must be have the different interfaces. And on the different interfaces, we have to do the lot of configuration in terms of the assigning the layer 2 interface, in terms of the assigning the layer 3 interface, or any virtual interface, any kind of the tunnel interface. So we have a lot of kind of the configuration. You can see if I have just go on the interface, if I click on the interface, type of the interface is different. So I'll explain one by one all the interfaces. What is the aggregated interface? What is the VLAN interface? What is the loopback interface? What is the redundant interface? What is my software switch? And why the Wi-Fi SSID is going to be used. So we have to understand these all things. So the first thing you have to configure the interfaces. This could be the different use case as per different requirements. Then we have the DNS configuration. So this firewall is going to require the DNS configuration as well. And this is also important. Means anything, if firewall point of view want to resolve the any URL. Let's suppose you have the lot of requests going to the based on the FQDN. Means your client request is coming to just access the FQDN. That could be the www facebook.com, right? So while going on the facebook.com, you just have to convert this Facebook URL into IP address, right? So that's why you just have to specify the your own DNS name, DNS address, or might be you already have the default DNS primary secondary that might be not going to work for you. So better you just get your DNS address from your ISP, and based on that DNS address, just go and specify the DNS address. Could be 8.8.8.8, and might be the secondary DNS could be the 1.1.1.1. So this is how you can just save and apply. I'm just showing how it can be done, right? And you can see it is trying to reach the DNS currently on this particular gateway address of the router, which is having the latest resolution time is 10 milliseconds. So you can see the port is also up and working. So if I want to just verify the currently cutting the DNS, configure the DNS, you can see this also has been configured 8.8.8, 1.1.1, and these are also resolving the 40 millisecond and 10 millisecond. Now it's 60 milliseconds as well. So this is how my DNS can be configured. If I want to configure my packet capture, let's suppose I want to do any kind of packet capture for troubleshooting for any interfaces. Let's suppose I want to do that. So this can be also configured. Any communication is going to be happen on this particular interface. This is going to be capture packet, and it is going to just use to just analyze in Wireshark and all. SDWAN is not part of this particular course content. So we are not going to touch the SDWAN configuration, SDWAN rule, zone, SLA configuration and all. So once we start the SDWAN, we'll see that how it is going to be configured as well. Now we have this, you can see we have the static route configuration. And in this static route configuration, right, we can do the static routing configuration. And what is that static routing configuration? Likewise, you just do for your router, just putting the default route, pointing toward any gateway, any specific route, 30/32 right route, that all is going to be possible, and you can just define the static route. So we'll do all the configuration. You want to do the policy-based route, that can be also doable. You want to do the RIP, you can do the RIP configuration, version 1, version 2, OSPF, BGP, routing object, and multicast. So these internet means any internet connectivity. If I want to access any application, the routing is the key things, and we just have to achieve this routing and all, right? So this all network things is going to be covered. Then we have to do the configuration about the policy, and in this policy we just have to do the actual firewall things after the network. Means we have to define the firewall policy. We have to define the IPv4 DOS policy. Firewall policy means if I want to create any policy. Likewise, we created in the last time one test policy. Just for the verification, nothing we discussed, nothing we tested, but just I was just showing the basic things. Similarly, if I want to create any new policy, I can create still a new policy. So any policy I want to create for any source, any destination, any kind of the URL, it is going to done via this particular policy firewall section. And based on that, you can just do your all configuration. I have to create the any address, object address, like you can see a lot of address object we have. So let's suppose I want to create any LAN subnet, any IP range, any FQDN. Let's suppose these are the FQDN section. I want to create a new something. Let's suppose I want to create one of the address, and this address might be the just I'm going to put FQDN, GuiNet FQDN address. So you can change the color as well. Any color you want to put, just put the change. You want to change the FQDN, just put it and put the FQDN is www.com. So interface could be any, just you click it, your new FWN has been created. Similarly, if I want to get any IP range base, so we'll see later state how it is going to be happen, but I'm just showing you this example. LAN subnet, you can just put it LAN subnet. And this LAN subnet can be created and just put any color here. You have the lot of color options. So it's very nice to see, and you can just put the IP range. So you want to give the IP range. So now you can just put the 0/24. So these addresses are very useful. Uh, sorry, IP range, you just have to get the actual IP. So we have to check the subnet here. So IP is going to take the actual IP address. So not network. So I just have to click it here and then click OK. So you can see one LAN subnet has been created also. So I can call these different LAN segment in the my different policy in the NAT as well. So this is also very important, guys. So we'll see how this is going to be created. Very easy to create any IP range, any FQDN. I want to create any address group for the multiple website. Let's suppose someone want to block multiple URL. So I want to create block, just I'm giving the example, custom URLs. So what is this custom URLs? So these custom URLs, you can change the any color just for the nice look. You have to give the, you have to give the FQDN, and then you just have to put, let me see how this is going to be grouped. So dynamically, if I click, there should be one option, device MAC. Let me put it here. So let me put www.facebook.com. So this is going to create one. So this one created, this one created. Now I want to group address, right? So I have an option here to just group them. Just give me, yeah. See, here is address group. I was just doing the wrong thing. So I have to group them. Then I have to click the address group, and I just call these 2, 3 URLs, whatever I want to block them. So I just click. First, I have to create the different URL, and I just have to put URLs, and then I can just add the group. So I want to block, let's suppose, custom URL, Facebook, and I want to block this GuiNet as well. So these, let's suppose Microsoft I want to block. So once I click, the group has been created, and based on that group, you can see these 3 URLs also going to be blocked. So it is the very important, guys. Trust me. This address is always going to be very important. And based on this address, you can apply the policy. You can enforce the different addresses inside the policy, and it is going to work dynamically. Even you are going to create the group, so multiple things are going to club together. That is going to apply in the policies. So this is your address. Similar, you have the internet services database. This is also very important, guys. And when I'm going to define any policy, so these internet services database is also going to play a very vital role. Why? You can see a lot of services are here. Let me show you. If I want to search, let's suppose, what kind of, you search the DNS, so you can see DNS services, a lot of DNS you have here. And if I want to just check the, let me say Facebook, so you can see a lot of Facebook related applications. So it's similar to the all application that has been identified by the Palo Alto, they have the application identification. So in the FortiGate, they known as the internet services, where all internet services has been identified, and you can see total number of the predefined is 1533. So if I just go and search the Teams as well, so see, this is Skype, Microsoft Skype Teams is showing here. If you just show Gmail, it's a Gmail also. Let me see if WhatsApp is integrated here. See, even the Facebook, WhatsApp, they are going to be same application. That is also. So these applications are going to be very useful when I'm going to create the policies, and these policies are going to be called as per my requirement. Now we have the services as well. So these services are like your layer 4 services, where you have to allow the traffic based on some port like port 20, sorry, 22, 23, 443, port 80. So if you want to create the services, let's suppose I want to create one services, that is my custom services, like custom port. And these custom ports or custom service, I'm just going to use as a port number. Let's say I'm just going to give this as the service, and category I want to give as a general, right? And it is going to ask the TCP, UDP, SFTP. You want to give any port, that is also possible. And here is the IP range. So if you have any IP address in, leave it. Now it is asking the destination port. So let's suppose I just going to 8080. So this is your port is going to be created, and you just click it, then your port is going to be created. If you have any range, then you can define the range as well. But yeah, this is how you can create the port for your different general access. So if you just go here, what port we created? I just forgot the name, but let me see here. I think something I created. Custom, see, custom services I created. So this is showing here, and it starts showing on this particular service section. So we have this services that is also going to be any layer 4 TCP, UDP, ICMP, IP services you want to define that. This services section is going to play a very vital role. Also, we have the schedule option. I want to schedule something that I can be scheduled based on this create new. I can schedule the things, and once I schedule, I can just now let's suppose I want to schedule something, some date. You have the schedule group, schedule kind of the any kind of the change and all. So you want to do that, that can be scheduled by any date, by any time. And this schedule can be called in the policy for any actions as well. So we'll see how it is going to be happen. Schedule is going to work and how it is going to be used. What is a virtual IP? That's a very important things, guys. We understand how this virtual IP is going to play a very vital role, how this configuration is going to happen for a different scenario. IP pool, how it is going to be used for assigning the IP, protocol options, shaping. So these are different options we have. Most important, you just have to understand these all virtual IP services, internet services, IP pools, addresses, and all. So this section most are about you are just going to do the policy creations and some kind of services definition you are going to define here, and also the any dynamic services you want to deploy based on the any destination applications. That is also possible. Once we done this, now we have the section that is known as the security profile. This security profile is more about your content inspection, right? So this content inspection is like if I'm sending any packet on the internet, so this packet having a different kind of the informations, right? I have the source IP address, I have the destination IP address, I have the source port, I have the destination port, I have the applications, I have other parameters, and then finally I have the content, that is the data. Data, I can say payload. So we know that this based on the source IP address, let me use it here. Based on the source IP address, based on the destination IP address, based on the source port, based on the destination port, and based on the application, that is a layer 7. We can create the policy in the policy section, and we can apply the policy, and based on that policy, things are going to be protected. If the firewall policy is going to be allowed, then only the communication is going to be happen. If the going to be blocked, then communication is going to be blocked. Simple definition is here. But what about the content? Let's suppose I'm downloading any file, I'm uploading any file. Who is going to stop those kind of the like issues or like content which is like affected by the virus? There are some web or application which should not be allowed, but still it is allowed. So who is going to take care about that? And also any kind of DNS, video traffic, file transfer that is not allowed for your company, data leak, IPS, IDS, signature matching. So those all things are going to be managed through this particular data and payload. So these data and payloads are always going to be scanned whenever it is going to be processed by the firewall firewall is going to scan these all data and payload. And if there is a virus, there is a web filtering, there is a video traffic, DNS traffic, application control, IPS, IDS, file control, SSL inspections, signature, everything is going to be processed and monitored by the firewall. So this is the known as the NGFW firewall feature. Means earlier before this content inspection, we just have the layer 3 and layer 4 kind of inspections. But when NGFW come in a picture, this NGFW, what basically did that, you can inspect the L3, L4 by default, L7 also added, and then finally your data packet is also going to be scanned for any kind of the vulnerability, malicious content and anything, right? So this is a very important. So I hope everyone is clear about this security profile as well, right? Then we have the VPNs where you have to create the IPsec VPN. Like two branches have to make the VPN, then how it is going to be happen, right? There are two branches, they want to make the VPN tunnel via the ISP, then how this VPN tunnel is going to be created between these two sites. So how this all is going to be configured, that also we have to understand. And the most important thing, this is known as a site-to-site VPN. And after that, we have another type of VPN, that is the client to site VPN. So client to site VPN also need to be created, and those require this additional software that is known as the FortiClients. So how FortiClient is going to be installed and how this is going to make the SSL based VPN, that also we'll understand and we'll do all the labs. So it's all about the VPN solution, client to site to site. We have the multiple way to configure, like we can configure the tunnel with the widgets, we can configure with the CLI, we can configure the GUI, we can configure with templates, and we have to configure the portal settings and client and VPN location map, everything we can do that. Okay, so this is all about the VPNs. Now, once we have the VPN understanding, some scenario we just have to create the users, right? Likewise, I log in the firewall with the admin, right? So this is the one user. So let's suppose I want to create some other users for different purpose. This could be my guest purpose. This could be my any kind of IT support purpose, might be a local user database. So this user can be defined here, and based on that user definition, you can just manage with the local user. You just want to integrate with your radius, TACAX, LDAP user, that also possible. But if you want to create any local, you just create the user name. So I just want to create like test1. I can just put the password here. So my local database is going to be created. Two-factor authentication you want, you can just enable it. You just have to use the email or the SMS. I don't want to enable that. So I just simply go here and next, and I want to enable this account to disable. So enable, that means that is going to be enabled. I want to map in the group, then can map. We'll see how it is going to happen. But see, the group has been created. The user has been created. Similarly, I want to create the user group. I want to call in this particular user in the user group. That is also possible. Guest management, I want to do some create the guest list and I want to manage, that can also possible. I want to integrate any LDAP server, I can do that. Radius server, do that. Single sign on, I want to do that, I can do that. Authentication setting, I want to can do that. Forti token, that can be doable. So based all about this section, if you want to do any kind of authentication, any kind of creation of the users, you can do without any issue. And your guest portals, any kind of the LDAP server, radius server, that is also going to be integrated. So local user and centralized management, both is possible in this particular section. Now, once we done with this all, so every section we are going to touch in very detail, guys. So the most important, we have to understand each and every, like the small things, so that you have the full clarity while doing the configuration, why basically things I am doing this. Once we done this all, we have the system level things, like I want to administrate the firewall. This is for just for the any kind of the user creation for different kind of the security mapping, profile mapping, user base access. But what about the firewall login administrations? So I want to log in the firewall with a different username. So I just create the another admin account. Might be this could be the I can create any one. Let's suppose I'm going to give the name as a user one. I can create the password here. I can create, means I can put the same password again. It is asking what kind of the you want to give the access. So we have to understand also admin with no access. Like we have this professional admin, we have the super admin read only. So let's suppose I'm going to give the super admin. So the guy who have this super admin, he have the full access of the firewall. Simply I click OK. So now see user is created. I just go on this particular firewall and log out. And now if I just put the user one and the password here, my firewall is going to be logged in. See, so now I logged in this firewall. So I want to just go here. See, this is the user one, right? So simply I just log out from the firewall. I create one user with the super user. We have to understand why super user, why read only, why professional, then all we have to understand. Admin profile also we can create based on the custom definition. Firmware I want to upgrade. So you can see right now it's this firmware. I want to upgrade something else. I can do that also. Downgrade can also. File upload I want to do that for firmware upgrade, means OS upgrade, that can be also doable. Fabric management, you want to see the view of the fabric. Any other settings you want to do like the NTP, PTP, manual setting, FortiGuard, that can be also doable. You want to do for the HA configuration, you can do that, the HA configuration as well. You want to do the SNMP, that can you do the SNMP configuration as well. Replacement message, this is one of the important thing, guys. What is replacement message? So replacement message something, let's suppose I want to see some blog page URL. So by default, anything is going to block. You are going to see this message, right? This is blocked by your firewall and some warning is there, but you want to change it as per your custom. So you can change that also. If you go in this particular configuration, you want to just change the word, you want to change the logo in HTML file, that can be also done. So we'll see how it is going to be happen. And FortiGuard definitely, if you have the real-time mapping integration, so this can be also integrated, this can be also done. Any feature visibility, some of the feature visibility you have to do that. The FortiGuard is just about the, you can have to get the real-time zero data support. So you can do this FortiGuard management and you want to do the Forti visibility. So let's suppose some feature is not visible, like you have the IPv6 like requirement to enable. By default is a disable. So you want to see this feature, so you just have to enable this feature. You want to allow the endpoint control. By default it's a disable. You want to allow, so you can just enable this. You want to enable some kind of the zero trust network access, you can do that also. You want to enable like replacement message group, you want to create policy based VPN, you want to create SL VPN relams, you want to create. So you want to run the wireless system. So some policy, something is disabled. So if you want to create, that can be done via the feature visibility tab. So once you do that, you want to do the email filtering, it can be done here. Wave application filtering, see it's a disable. So if you're going to use those features, so by default it's a disable, it is not going to work. So better you just enable it, and once you enable it, it is going to be visible, and just apply it. So see, this has been applied, so your feature has been changed. Certificate level things you want to check. What is my firewall certificate, local certificate, you want to edit any certificate, you want to import any certificate, generate certificate for SL inspection, that is also possible, we can do that. So we'll see how it is going to happen step by step for particular this certificate management. Now we have this final section about the security fabric. You want to see the logs, logical topology on all, you can see that. And finally we have the section that is a log and report. That is the most important. So if you want to see the what traffic is going through my firewall, right? What is the source, what is destination, what is device, that all is visible here. Local traffic, that all is visible. Sniffer traffic, GTNA traffic, events. You see, there are a lot of system events, router event, VPN events, SDWAN event, HA events. That also is visible here. And antivirus, web filtering, you want to see that. SSL, you want to see that. So these all are available here to see that. So without any problem, everything is available. And based on that, you can just do different section for different uses for your requirement, right? So I hope this is clear to everyone why basically this dashboard is very important and what are different sections available in this dashboard. Any question anyone have in this particular feature tabs? If anyone have question, please let me know, else I'll move to the next topic to discuss it. Okay, so I'm taking as a no. So let me just make you guys understand as per the course content. Let's discuss about. Let me just open this. So we done about the initial configuration, right? We discuss how the initial configuration is going to be happen. And we also discuss about the dashboard. Initial working labs we have done. Now we have to understand about the interfaces. Okay, more about the interfaces. What are different type of the interfaces we have and how these interfaces are going to configure in the different requirement, right? So let's go and try to do one by one configuration. Although we have done some configuration for the L3 interface, but we have the lot of interface, and for that we just have to make some kind of the understanding. So the first interface we have in the interface section, let me just go in the FortiGate firewall. So if I go in the network, because we just have to start the configuration section from here. So if I go here, so what is the interface? Interface could be your physical interface. Interface could be your logical interface. That is known as the virtual interface. And the responsibility of the interface might be, I'm just talking in the very basic, you guys are aware about it. So what is the responsibility of the interface? The interface responsibility to just flow the traffic from your internal network to external or external network to internal. Without interfaces, you cannot send traffic in to out or out to in. It could be the physical, it could be the virtual. If it is virtual, again, it is required the physical media to just map the virtual interface traffic. Else it is not going to be processed. Within the box, it is a process is going to happen on the particular device. But if it want to go from one device to another device, we just have to use the physical interfaces. So in the firewall, if I want to create any interface, so what is going to be happen? So I just have to go by default, this firewall have the 4 interface. If you want to check the CLI, so you just have to log in via the CLI. And if I just, let me log in it again. So system interface. See, these are the different interface, right? Basically, these are the 4 interfaces that has been used to just connect the LAN and WAN connectivity here, right? So these are the physical interface. You have the tunnel interface also. They are the virtual interface. So on this physical interface, you can see some are assigning the IP address by the help of the DHCP. So let me go on the particular firewall and see this interface have the IP address assignment. So if I have the layer 3 interface, definitely this can be assigned the IP address based on the L3 because IP addressing support is going to be happen on the layer 3 interface. But what about other interfaces? So I have the interface zone and virtual wire pair interface. So first, if I just click the interface, so I have the interface, might be I can use the interface. This could be my type of the interface could be the 802.3 AD aggregate interface. This could be the my EMC VLAN, EMAC VLANs, loopback interface. I want to create the redundant interface, software switch. So let me do one by one a smaller thing. So I want to create any loopback interface. So how can I create? Just go here and create the loopback interface. Loopback, or I can just create to loopback 100. Okay. I just go here and just put the loopback interface. And LAN role, you can just define, you have the different LAN, means this interface could be belong to the LAN, DMG, WAN, or undefined. You can put anything. Role could be just for your understanding. It's not a specific region you have to put, but it's just for your understanding. So in this case, I'm going to use as a LAN interface, might be, or might be I can just put as a undefined because it's a management one. So I can put any IP address here. So simply I go here and put the IP address. Let's suppose I want to put IP address is 100.100.100.100/32. This is the loopback address. On this loopback address, if I have to configure the IP basis, I can do that also. On this loopback interface, I want to enable any kind of administrative services. Like by sitting in some other network or other device remotely, I want to do the HTTPS of this particular firewall with this loopback interface. Then I can just allow the administrative interface access by clicking on the HTTPS. I can also allow the ping. I can allow the SNMP, that is not going to require, and I can allow the SSH. These are the most common services. I can do that. Rest are not going to require. Network security mode, you can see you want to just enable for the any kind of the advanced captive portal access and all. So that is not for required time being. Just understand how the loopback is going to be created. Traffic serving, and that is not going to require. But make sure this status to be enabled for particular this interface. So I click OK. So you can say now you have this interface. And if I go in the CLI again, and let me just go here. And if I just click it here, see now we have the new loopback interface has been created. So loopback interface is just a logical interface and there is no physical link dependency. The loopback interface can be attached with the subnet and this is going to be always present in the routing table. So if I just go and show you the routing table even, once I create this loopback interface, so just go here and you want to see the routing object, not in routing, you just go in the static route. Sorry, let me go here, network, and if you see the routing, see this loopback has been automatically added here and it's a connected route. So once I create, it is going to be available, right? Now we have the interface, another interface, might be I can go and create the VLAN interface. So I just go in the interface again and I just create here the test VLAN, right? So how this test VLAN is going to be created? I just go here, I just select the VLAN. It is going to ask the protocol. There's two protocol, trunking VLAN protocol, VLAN trunking protocol. We can say a VLAN protocol that is 802.1q, 802.1q, or that is a 1AD. So either I can select. Now it is asking this VLAN you want to map with which interface. So I can use this particular I want to match on this interface. So I have to put the some VLAN ID. That's the most important. Let's suppose I want to put the VLAN ID is just 20. We'll do the detailed lab. I'm just showing you the basic understanding how it is going to happen. And role I can give that I want to assign any IP address. Let's suppose I want to give the IP address manually here on this VLAN 20.20.1/24. So this can be also, I want to allow the ping SSH, right? HTTP, this can be done. You see, my another interface has been created. So if I just drag it here, you can see this interface port, you create any VLANs, right? But that VLAN must be allow on the any trunk port or might any access port. Similarly, we just create the VLANs and this has been assigned to this particular port and this is the IP address that has been assigned to this particular port. So this is how you can create the VLANs as well, and you can just creating the VLANs. You can do the different configuration for your testing. So let me just do the another labs, right? Because we have to understand each and every type of the interface configuration, zone configuration, how it is going to be happen. So we'll use one of the lab and based on the lab topology, right? We have to create a different VLANs and those VLAN are going to process via the switch. And based on that, how they are going to communicate with the internet, we'll see that. Okay. Meanwhile, anyone have any questions here? Anything? All good? So let me stop this lab. Okay. We'll see the another lab and we'll try to do the configuration about the everything. So I'll just close it. Let me close it. And let me see if I have which lab shall we use. Okay, so let's try with the pure layer 2 mode deployment. Okay, so we have this PC. This is the one PC. Let's suppose I have this requirement and we have the firewalls here, and this firewall will get the IP address from the your DSCP. Let me try to log in it. Meanwhile, let me set up the IP address on these PCs as well. There was one lab. I want to search that. Let me see that if can I find that lab. Yeah, this one was the lab, I believe. Okay, we'll see this lab as well. Let me try first the okay, HA. No, okay, leave it, no problem. So this is done. Let me see. Once this is ready, we'll just do the basic configuration of this firewall and then we'll start doing the layer 2 deployment. But it's not coming up. Yeah, now it's okay. So I'll just go with without password. I'll set the admin username. Password, I'll set admin as well. And if I check show system info, you are going to get this 195 IP address again. So I'll just simply go and log in this 195. And I'm just logged in this particular firewall. Right. So I simply go later. And after going later, let me see. Okay, so after doing this later, I'll just click OK. And this is my firewall. So let me just do here, zoom in. This firewall doesn't have any configuration right now, guys. Okay. So we'll do how this PC is going to communicate with this PC with the help of the layer 2 interface. Means we are going to act as a layer 2. Might be you guys know about that. Let's suppose we have the requirement in your router. We have one switch here. And one PC is going to connect here. One is going to be connected here. This is your PCA. This is your PCB. This one having the IP address 10.10.10.10/24. This one having 10.10.10.20/24. So these PCs are going to talk if these PCs are going to stay in the same VLAN. Means we have to put like VLAN 10 here, VLAN 10 here, means any number of VLAN. If I'm not going to put any VLAN on this switch, by default it is going to be a native VLAN. That is a VLAN 1. But we have to use the VLANs. And based on VLAN, you have to create these port as access port. This port is also going to be called as the access port. And then your traffic is going to be travel from this PC to this, and switch is going to switch the packet based on the MAC table or might be the CAM table. And then how it is going to be happen the communication. Similarly, it's a pure layer 2 communication. Similarly, the same concept is going to use in this particular section. Let's suppose this PC having the IP address 10.10.10/24. This one having IP address 10.10.10. 20/24. This PC want to talk with this PC, then they have to process via this entire network, and these all L2 is going to be happen. This all link should be the L2 link. Then how this communication is going to happen and how this configuration is going to apply, that we have to understand it here. Okay, good about the lab topology. So let's try to do that. So I'll go in this particular window PC. What happened to this PC? Okay, so I believe I need to again relaunch it. So let me go here and I'll just go here and put the password 123, and I'll go on this particular PC, and this is also your 123. All right. So first we'll assign the IP address as defined. We just have to assign the IP address. Let me go on the internet properties, means network of this particular NIC card, and I just click it here, properties. And here I'll just go and put the IP address 10.10.10.10. Okay, and subnet mask, I'll put it here as a 255.255.0. I'll click OK. Okay. This has been done. One more thing, guys. By default, these PC ping is blocked because ICMP is blocked. So what you have to do that, you just have to go on this particular PC and you have to allow the ICMP. Means you have to disable the firewall basically, not allow the ICMP. So just do and window firewall and disable the firewall. So your ICMP is not going to block it here. So I'll just go here off the firewall. I'll go here off the firewall. I'll go here off the firewall. This has been done. Okay. Now let's make close it. This PC job has been done. We just assign the IP address and this is good. So let me go in the CMD. I'll go and click on the IP config. You see, this is the IP address, first PC. Now let me go on the second PC, guys. Second PC is this one. I can simply go on the network tab. I can go in the properties. I can go in the network again, adapter, and then I'll go in the properties. And here I'll just give the IP address. This time 10.10.10.20. And I just put this one, and okay. Fine, fine. Now let me disable the firewall as well. So I'll go here and window firewall. I'll simply off this firewall, private. I'll off this firewall and I'll just apply it. Done. So this has been done. And if you just check it again here, CMD. IP config. This is done. But what about the switches? Switches also need to be do the configuration. So I'll just configure the VLAN 10 on the both switches and I'll assign the port on the VLAN 10. Both port means this is the 0 port, this is a 1 port. This all is going to be in the VLAN 10. So by default, when traffic is going to be come from this PC, it is going to stay in the VLAN 10 and via VLAN 10, it will reach to the firewall. Firewall, we have to do the configuration and then it is going to reach to other PCs. So let me do that. So I can create a VLAN 10. Okay. And I'll go on the interface Ethernet 0x0 and I'll put the switch port, mode access, switch port, access, VLAN 10. Done. Sorry, one more port we have to configure. That is the 0x1. This is again switch port mode access, VLAN 10. So if you just write it and show VLAN brief, you run the command, you are going to get VLAN 10. In VLAN 10, we have two port, Ethernet 0x0 and 0x1. See? So now it's done. Switch 1 is done. So let me put the host name as well. I have to go in the config T. Sorry, I make the wrong command. Let me go to the switch 2, and meanwhile it is going to recover. So let me go here and I'll just config T host name, switch 2, and VLAN 10 I'll just configure, and interface. Okay, sorry, let me exit out from VLAN. Interface Ethernet. This is 0 by 0 and 0 by 2 this time. Okay. 0 by 0. Switchboard mode access. Switchboard access VLAN 10. Now we have the another interface as well. That is my 0 by 2. So I'll go in the 0 by 2 as well. And I'll just assign the IP, means this interface under the VLAN 10. So done. Let me go and write this configuration. And if I run the command show VLAN brief, you can see this has been done. 10 have these two ports, and these having also. So let me put the host name switch 1. So switch wise also we are good, and both switch has been configured with the VLAN 10. So I hope everyone clear. Any doubt, please let me know. So this PC have the IP 10.10/24. This one have the IP 10.10.20/24. This port we put under the VLAN 10. This port also put under the VLAN 10. This port put under the VLAN 10. This port we define the under VLAN 10, and we created the VLAN 10 in the switch. Right here also created the VLAN 10 in the switch. What about the firewall? Will the firewall is allow the communication by default? Let me try without doing any configuration of the firewall. So if I go on the PC and try to ping 10.10.20.20, see, it is not pingable right now. The IP is 20. Even I try to ping from the reverse as well, it is not pingable. So you just have to make sure this communication is going to be allowed through the firewall, right? So what I have to do the configuration on the firewall by using the VLAN. So this configuration going to process the communication. So let's do that part. So simply I have to go in the firewall again. I have to log in the firewall. And now I will go on the network, and there is an interface. Now you guys tell me what all interfaces are going to be used. We have two interfaces, port 2 and port 3. These two interfaces are used here to just connect the switches. So I have to do something on these interfaces so that they can communicate to the one end to another end. So how it is going to happen? See, so if I just click the double, we have to define the IP address. There is option. We have the VRF ID option, physical interface roles. We have some options. Dedicated management port, we don't have to define here. If we have, we can define it here. We have the DSCP configuration, one ARM configuration. A lot of things are here. But where I can define the VLAN and all, that is not showing here, right? Do you have anything to define the VLAN ID and all? So that is also not available here to configure it. So how this is going to be done? We have to understand. Okay. So if I go in the configuration, let me cancel it here. And here, if I just go and I just create the interface now, let's suppose name, I put the VLAN 10, right? And I'll just call the interface. This time might be the interface is port 2. So I'll just select the port 2. VLAN ID, just I go and select, define the VLAN ID 10. Okay. No IP, nothing I need to define, right? Because this is just for layer 2 interface I'm just creating. I create OK. So this port having this particular VLAN assignment, you can see VLAN 10. Similarly, I'll go on the port 3 as well. So not port 3. Let me go and yeah, I can go here and let me just do one thing. Sorry, let me just, I can go in the VLAN also. And what I can do, I make some mistake. Let me see that. So this is the VLAN 10 and this has been assigned VLAN tag ID 10. So let me, no, it is not way. I believe something I make mistake here. Let me test VLAN test. Let me create interface this one, VLAN ID 10. Let me see here. So again, VLAN 10, port ID 10. And this is a VLAN. So I believe it's a fine. Okay. Just put the different name, nothing else. So if I see here, now it's the VLAN 10 also and VLAN ID also 10. Just name a difference, but rest are the same. So two things is there, right? No need to commit it here again. If I just try to again ping, see this ping is not working. So what else? So we just make this port on the VLAN 10, both end side, but still my ping is not working. So by default, if I have this VLAN 11 configuration, I also have to check my policy. That's also very important, guys. So if you see the firewall policy, everything by default implicit, it is going to be denied by the firewall. So you just have to create some policies as well. Let's suppose I'm going to create the allow traffic PCA, PC1 to PC2. And simply I put the incoming interface this, outgoing interface this. Okay. Source could be any I can put for time being. Destination could be any, right? Services could be any, except I don't want to do any NAT stuff because the pure, we have to understand what is the flow base and proxy weight, action, antivirus, virus. We'll see why it is going to apply. So I just apply this policy. So this is, you can see this policy has been applied. And this is showing this rule is PC1 to PC2. Okay, any source to any destination. So now if I try with this particular PC, so still host unreachable, right? Let me check it this. Let me see the status. So this policy is disabled right now. Let me apply enabled. So now this policy has been enabled. Initially, when we click that, that was disabled stage. Let me try it again. Come on. Am I make any mistake in the layer 2 deployment? Policies allow, right? No SL inspection and all. Let me check it again. So any VLAN is going to come. It is going to be allowed. Sometimes VLAN is very tricky, guys, right? We just have to be very cautious when we create the VLANs because always we make the mistakes while creating the VLAN and all because we have the very good knowledge about the layer 3 and all, but VLAN is always being a little bit confusing. So don't worry, I'll fix it. I'll definitely fix it why it's not working. So apply and what I make mistakes. Implicit is deny everything. this policy. Let me edit this policy. And the traffic is coming from the port 2 and hitting to the firewall. Let me try to ping the PC. I believe firewall allow that, let me see that. I'm sure this is not blocking. Firewall is off here also. Firewall is off here also. What else? So my traffic is must be going to process via the port 2, and this is going to via port 3. Enable NAT definitely not required here. Enable this policy. Okay. NAT was disabled. We not required enable it here. Yeah, that's fine. There's no problem at all. Okay. Let me check again. Let me go on the interface. And this is my port 2 that is going on the internet. This is my port 3. Physical interface. We create the VLAN. Yeah, Anurag, you're saying something?
स्विच के पोर्ट सर नो शट किए थे सर हमने
I think let me switch के ports are no set here. I think I'm just missing something. I just trying to figure out what is. It's a very small things. Might be I'm missing. Okay, but definitely I'll have to check the document. But I don't want to check the document because I want to use my logic. So VLAN brief. This is also fine. You can see the port are up and working. So IP interface brief. So 1/2. Let me see what is this port. 0/0 and 0/2 on the switch 2. So show run interface VLAN. Sorry, Ethernet 0/0. This is fine. 0/2 is fine. Okay. This is the interface which is 0/0 and 0/1. Show run interface Ethernet 0/0. It's fine. 0/1 is fine. So it is good. What I'm doing mistake here. Let me just open a document. I really don't want to refer, but let me open. Okay. So I will go and open the official VLAN configuration FortiGate document. So let me see, is this have the any kind of the interface we can configure VLAN IP not required. That's fine. I'm doing the same thing, right? Just give me 1 minute. This is the VLAN. I can put any name, port, VLAN ID. Fine. There is no IP required. This is not IP. This is not going to be required IP. And VLAN IP, it is not going to be required. Even I dip the IP now, it is not going to make any sense to me. This DSL server is not going to require. Absolutely fine.
configuration सेव तो रिक्वायर्ड नहीं होती सर इसमें
What?
Have you required to save the configuration to make it effective or not, sir?
No, it is going to by default affected. No, nothing special have to do that. Nothing you have to do that. By default, this is going to be, let me see, incoming interface, my LAN, and let me see the policies as well. Hey, very interesting. My first lab is stuck today. incoming interface. That is the VLAN 10.
सर ट्रंक बनाने की जरूरत पड़ेगी स्विच पे?
No, there's no trunk. Is not trunk. Access port, simple access port. We are doing the end-to-end layer 2 mapping.
ओके सर.
Layer 2 mapping. So end-to-end layer 2 mapping. VLAN 10, and this is, let's suppose, incoming traffic is coming from here. This okay. Should work. No working. Let me open the ebook of this. Where is my ebook of this FortiGate configuration document? What is wrong with this?
सर VLAN में सर एक प्रोटोकॉल का ऑप्शन दिखाया था सर आपने, उसमें तो सर कुछ
कहाँ पे?
VLAN सर when you configure the VLAN, so one protocol option is there.
So by default, we selected the same
802.1.
now. We selected the same protocols. We selected the same. You can see here in this, we just use the protocol. This is
802.
802. See? The same. Nothing has been changed.
सर VLAN 10 और 20 अलाउ ना स्विच पे? VLAN अलाउ.
We are not using 10 and 20. We are using same VLAN 10 only. We are not allowing the VLAN 10 and 20. We are just allowing the VLAN 10. Let me do the again configuration. If you have any config, let me just delete it. Okay. So if I go here, it cannot be deleted because we have the reference number. So we just have to delete the first reference number if you want to delete that. So you have to delete this reference number, then only you can delete. So let me delete the reference number first. So I deleted. So let me just delete these two. So I have to go and delete this. See, when you have to delete, it's also very important, guys. You cannot delete this by direct until, see this, I have the one reference number. So if I want to delete, see delete option is not highlighted here. So what I have to do that? I have to first remove this, select this, I have to delete this. And now let me go here and just delete this interface. So now it is done. So if I want to create a new VLAN again, so by default, this is not like option is not coming to define the VLANs. So what I can do that, I can simply go here and create the interface, and this is the VLAN interface. So let me just open a document as well, official administration document. And how can I open that? I can open from here also. I can go online help. So if I just go here, you can see here. VLAN. So see, this is the same topology. We have this VLAN 10. See, these are the VLAN 200 and 100. So we have to kill the trunk in this case, and then it is going to process via the internet, this F24. But our case, it is going to be access. So you can see here is the configuration. We have to set in the IP address on the interface. We have to get the VLANs. We have to define the IP address. And then it is the subnet mask. I believe it should support for the Palo Alto supporting. So FortiGate also should support. But why they are talking directly layer 3? VLANs they have. So VLAN, they're just directly talking in the different set of the configuration. So they are not talking the same interface. They are talking a different interface. Okay, interesting. So, so this is the region. Okay, I got it. So FortiGate, guys, I don't think it is supporting the layer 2. Pure layer 2, it is not going to support. I was just referring the Palo Alto and I just recalling now, right? So we just have to create the layer 3 interface, then only it is going to support. Layer 2 is not possible here. This is the answer, right? So now I got it. I believe FortiGate Firewall support layer 2 VLAN configuration. I don't think it is going to support. No, this is here. So this could be the only region, guys. So the configuration file, let me configure it again. Definitely, I'll explain these all in very detail tomorrow class, right? Actually, we have two topology, right? One is the inter-VLAN topology, one is the same VLAN topology. So I believe I taken the wrong topology, and because of that, it all confusion arise, right? So if you see here, we have another topology also. Now I'm able to recall that we have the VLAN reached multi-VLAN. So if I just go and achieve this lab, right, this can be doable 100%, right? Because we have to get two sub interfaces with different VLAN. We just have to map with the different interfaces. That can be possible. So we'll do tomorrow how it is going to happen, this one lab, and I'll also give the official justification why this is not working. What is the issue with the layer 2 deployment mode? In Palo Alto, it's a 100% work, right? Even in the checkpoint also work. But FortiGate is have the special feature, right? Means a special kind of restrictions so that it is not working for timing. But let me try one more time if something is missing. So let me do it from scratch it here. So these two ports, I'll just go here and create the interface. This time I just create the VLAN 10. It is going to be your VLAN and interface. I just go use to true, and I have to give the VLAN ID 10. Role leave it to the LAN. So this is going to be okay. So IP and all not required here. Port 2. I don't have any option to even define the port 3 here, right? So one time only port is going to be there. So if I add the, let's suppose I'm trying to add /24, then what is going to happen? I want to check that. So let me just put the HTTPS and ping, enable, it's done. Now let me create another interface here. And I'll put the 10 again. And this is the interface 1/3. VLAN ID 10. I'll just use the IP address 10.10.12 this time. HTTPS ping. It is allowed SSH. And now it's done. So now you can see it is not going to define the same subnet in two different VLANs. So this is not a good idea. We cannot give them the two subnet on two different interfaces. So I have to just, let me create it again. It is not allowing that. So first let me remove this one also. I can use that default one. So let me put 0.0.0.0. Okay. I'll go and create the interface. VLAN, I can create underscore. It's, I believe, name should be different, not the same. But 10, nothing is going to require, no, yes, so that's okay. Now we are good. So both interfaces are part of VLAN 10, just name are different, but ID is 10. Policy, we already have the policy, but let me, I believe we delete the policy. So let me try one more time. So I create the policy, like test policy. And in this test policy, incoming interface, let's suppose port 2. Outgoing interface, you can port 3. Source, it could be the any. Destination could be the any. Services could be the all, right? NAT not required. Okay. So now policy is fine. You can see NAT required disable. It's applied. So if it is not going to ping, it's not lab problem, it's the Fortinet feature problem. Okay. So I'll do the more research on it, why this behavior is specially designed for this FortiGate. And I'll get back to you tomorrow, guys. Okay. So for time being, you can see the policy is there. But still, if I am trying to ping, should not work because it was earlier not work. So no need to worry about that. Even I'm going to explain the another topology tomorrow. In this topology, I'll club this also and I'll explain these all things together. Okay, for time being. I know you guys are a little bit confused, but no need to worry. Initially, it's fine. Okay. Later, you are going to enjoy a lot.
सर एक
Yes,
बार वो
sir.
चेंज करके देख सकते हो जी सर, जो प्रोटोकॉल सर आपने 1 क्यू लिया सर, उसके बराबर में सर एक 180 भी था सर प्रोटोकॉल।
कौन सा?
सर जहाँ पर VLAN कॉन्फ़िगर करते हैं ना, तो दो
हाँ।
प्रोटोकॉल है सर, 802.1 क्यू एंड 802.1 AD।
बाय डिफॉल्ट आपका .1Q के लिए आपका वही यूज होता है, लेकिन यहाँ पे .1Q भी नहीं चाहिए. दिस इज द ओनली रीजन व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक अ पॉइंट. If you are, see, for any kind of the VLAN, आपका 802.1Q जो है, right, these are the trunking protocol,
राइट
right?
सर।
AD भी
Encapsulation.
और
है,
AD वाला सर,
वो भी ट्रंकिंग प्रोटोकॉल ही है.
अच्छा अच्छा,
Both are
ठीक है सर।
trunking protocol. So when it is going to make a trunk, this protocol is going to use. In access
राइट, इसलिए नहीं चल
port,
रहा सर,
by default, it is not going to require. This is all confusion. In
राइट राइट, इसलिए नहीं चल
Palo,
रहा सर।
in Palo Alto, we just have to use the access port, right? So you can
राइट
create
सर,
any name, any VLAN. You remember, right? 10
राइट सर,
name or VLAN. It is going to take the same thing, and you can make the end-to-end layer 2 VLANs, right? But here by
राइट सर,
default, it's a hard coded on the interface, so you cannot make the same lab. And this is what I'm trying. So that was my bad. Actually, I supposed to not use this lab, but mistaken I opened this lab because it was just pulled from the Palo Alto to FortiGate, and this was the whole confusion arise because there should ideally this kind of topology in the same interface. We have the 10 subnet, we have the 20 subnet, we have to make a trunk, then it is going to work 100% because we have the trunking protocol enabled there. So we'll see like next class. Okay, guys.
ओके,
Thank you. Chalo. See you again.
विशाल जी,
Good night, sir.
हेलो.
Just wait.
हेलो विशाल जी.
Give me 1 minute.
ओके ओके.
हाँ जी बताओ. Let me put other people also.